Washington Commanders training camp coverage. Now, this is a special for you, and we are going to be coming to you each and every day right here at 12 noon from 12 till 12:30, recapping everything that went down with the day here in Ashburn as the Washington Commanders warm up on the season. And for all of you fans of the burgundy and gold out there, I know what you're thinking. These could be those first initial steps to a team that could be on the verge of a Super Bowl. I'll give you the lay of the land for what it is that we found out here today. This was the second consecutive day in which fans were allowed to attend practice. Now, if you've never been to a training camp practice, what that does, it brings up the energy, it brings up the atmosphere, it brings up the spirit of everything that's going down. Practice began this morning at 8 a.m. Just like on yesterday, there were lines that were wrapped around the entire parking lot as individuals were coming out to see their beloved Washington Commanders. And once they got on the field, well, the players, they put on quite a show. Of course, everyone was coming out to see number 5, Jayden Daniels, not only one of the top players on this here team, but arguably one of the top quarterbacks in the entire NFL. Jayden Daniels looked good again here today. There had been talks that early on that the defense was getting the better of the offense, but don't let that get to you at all, because if you know anything about football, you know that that is something that often happens. It's easier for the defense to begin to come together, to begin to gel. That's because defense is see ball, go get ball. On offense, that offense has to really, really come together in terms of continuity. But Jayden Daniels starting to look extraordinarily good. We saw Jalen Lane, one of those rookies, make a big-time catch yesterday. He continued his ability to heat it up on the field here again today. We see Deebo Samuel getting more and more involved, not only with this offense, but also with this team and also with this culture and the continuity. Brian Robinson Jr., he looks great out here on the football field as well. Broke a couple of long ones on yesterday and again today. I know what you're saying. They're not tackling yet, so we can't go completely into that, but he had a good day. But that's going to bring us to our individual that is taking command out here on the football field. That is going to be Josh Connerly Jr., the rookie tackle that was drafted in the first round coming out of Oregon. I had an opportunity to speak with him, and we'll get to that interview in just a second. But Josh Connerly Jr., this is his first day in pads here today. So that is truly your welcome to the NFL moment. You can do it in shorts and a t-shirt all day long, but when you put those pads on, it truly is your opportunity to get down in the dirt, your hand in the dirt, playing with some of those NFL players. I spoke with Josh Connerly after practice. I asked him about just that, as well as what it's like to lock hand in hand with a future Hall of Famer in Von Miller. Take a listen.
Player now. Real football player with the pads and helmet on, but feel good, man. It was a great day.
What has the adjustment been like thus far? Obviously, we're week 2 of training camp now. What have you learned that you didn't know a month ago?
Really just to stay true to my technique and not necessarily focus on what the defense is doing, but focus on what I'm doing first before anything, and that'll take you to where you want to be.
Hey, I heard a lot and read a lot about yourself and your development, all of the skill and everything that you had coming in. How does going up and having a chance to get reps against someone like a Von Miller, who is one of the best pass rushers to ever play the game, how does that help to develop you even faster?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it helps me develop me faster, because there's not a lot of people that say they have the opportunity to go against somebody like that. And for someone like that to help me, not just on the field, but off the field, and give me little tips and little things that I could change for myself, it's a blessing at the end of the day. So.
Laremy Tunsil, obviously coming into the league, you got a chance to learn from another Hall of Famer, only one that's going to be beside you as opposed to on the other side. What have you learned from Laremy?
He really tells me to stay true to myself, and don't focus on everything else on the outside, and just stay true to who you are, stay true to your techniques and what works for you, and just go and do everything to your fullest.
We'll get you out of here on this, brother. Last season, probably seasons before that, you had the chance to watch and to see a Jayden Daniels before. Now you're protecting him. What have you learned?
You can be your best, but at the end of the day, Jayden's gonna do him. So I feel like I feel like no matter what, they ain't gonna make something happen. So that's how I feel about it.
That's what's up.
At the end of the day, Jaden Daniels is going to be Jaden Daniels. You're hearing right there from rookie first-round pick Josh Connerly Jr. coming out of Oregon, beginning to make their adjustments. He is our take command player of the day. Again, we will have one of those individuals each and every day. That's an individual who showed out at practice, who is going to be integral to the success of this team. Here now to talk about that and so much more that's been going down with the Washington Commanders in our now 5 days of training camp is NFL Insider, one of my favorites, Lake Lewis. Thank you so very much for joining our Commander stream here, brother.
Thank you much. I appreciate coming on.
All right, so Josh, let's go ahead and stay on him. Obviously, that first-round pick, he is that right tackle. This offensive line, at times last season, they struggled a little bit. I think that the specialness of Jaden Daniels was able to cover some of those things. What does bringing in a stud like himself, a Laramie Tunsil, what does that do for this team?
It does a lot. I mean, you have to think about that. As you said, Jaden had to make magic happen for this team last year. He had to put a cape on several times, and it worked. However, he's the biggest investment that this franchise has ever had, and you want to keep him upright. And when you're playing teams like the Eagles, who have a stout defensive front four, the Giants should have a stout defensive front four. Cowboys have some talent, you know.
They got 11. The Cowboys, the boys got 11.
They got a star on their helmet. But yeah, you know, you want to make sure that he's safe in the pocket. You want to make sure that he has another second to survey a football field. And if you give Jaden Daniels more time to survey a field with the weapons that he has at his disposal now, it should just make life really interesting. And it's going to be a task against opposing defenses to stop him.
One of the things that I asked Josh about, obviously today being that first day with pads on, I asked him about being able to sharpen his skills going up against Von Miller. Like it's no disrespect to anybody else out here, but when you go against a Von Miller one-on-one here in training camp, it shows you where you are.
Absolutely, and you know, for a rookie, you can't ask for a better setup to go up against a guy like that. And even a guy like Javon Kinlaw is a monster of a man. For Josh Connerly Jr. to go up against those guys, but Von Miller is a guy that probably has 50 other tricks in his bag after he's already shown you 20. You know, so now if you're Josh Connerly Jr., you're getting a chance to go up against a first ballot Hall of Famer, and you're learning the ropes. So when you go up against other guys on Sundays, it might be a little easier for this young guy.
Sure. One of the things for those of you out there who did not hear it, Von Miller dropped what was one of my favorite quotes since I've been covering sports. Von Miller said that at 36 years of age, he can roll out of the bed and rush the passer. My gosh.
And he can. You know, listen, last week when his first day, when we saw him, the bend that he has, Chad, it was something. I mean, like for us to see a 36-year-old do that, I haven't seen a 16-year-old, let alone a 26-year-old do that.
I was about to say, because they say he's old. If they say that 36 is old, what are they saying about us?
Oh my God!
At least me. I know that you're only 23.
I'm on life support then.
Okay.
Yeah, for this guy to do that and show that. And you know he's still on reserve.
Sure.
He's not showing much out here right now, folks. He still looks good. Yeah, but this guy, just get ready for September 6th, you know, when they play against the Giants first game. Then you're going to see him empty the tank out. And he still does have a lot of gas in that tank, too. So I think it's a great signing for them.
When you talk about major free agent signings and or individuals that are drafted, you know, people get really excited when it's a quarterback, it's a running back, it's a wide receiver. We'll get to some offseason moves in a moment. But when you trade for a left tackle, when you trade for arguably one of the best left tackles, pass blocking at least, to ever play this game, that's what we saw this team go do with a Laramie Tunsil. What thus far, we're 5 days in, what thus far have you seen of Laramie Tunsil?
I've just seen a consistent tackle, a guy that holds people up. And, I mean, if you've noticed, the defense has had some moments where they put some pressure on. With kudos to them, Joe Wood Jr., the defensive coordinator. But it hasn't come much from Laramie's side.
Sure.
And you're talking about a 5-time Pro Bowler. He gets it. He knows what's expected of him. And he's probably a guy right now at this point, too, Chad, that's on reserve.
Yeah.
You know, these are guys that know how to, you know, practice. They know what they're trying to get out of each practice. They know their bodies. So their best work is yet to come, but yet they still look like tremendous upgrades for this roster.
100%. And that is kind of a brief overview of what's been going on the field. I want to go ahead and take this off of the field now because there's some storylines that are here off of it. I don't know if you've heard about what's going on out here, but obviously, like the big news, not only of the day, but of the week, of the month, of the off season, is number 17, Terry McLaurin. Now, what brought a ton of energy and emotion back here into Ashburn was on yesterday when it was announced that Terry was, in essence, ending his holdout to hold in. Yeah, technically he's on the PUP list, the physically unable to perform list. Dan Quinn had a great quote about that. He said, yeah, he hurt his ankle at the end of last season there, and that's something that's still going down. So we heard that, but Terry McLaurin being back in the fold, what does that mean to this organization?
I mean, he's not participating with his teammates right now. We know that. And he is coming out here after the last 2 days. He's come out, take pictures and talk with fans. I might be the wrong person to talk to in the sense that I don't care for the optics of it.
Well, I wanted to ask you about this.
Yeah,
this is spending time with his agent out on the field. Yeah.
But your agent is someone that knows everything about you, or should, and you can do that on a phone or at your house. Mm-hmm. So I understand, your agent can deflect some things, but I don't look at it as a deflection. I look at it like the agent is pulling things towards them. And I just think that, when you have a Micah Parsons in Dallas being there, still cheering his teammates on, James Cook in Buffalo doing that, I'd like to see Terry do the same thing.
Wow. Now, this is a different perspective, and this is why we want to have you on here, Lake. You tell the truth, you shame the devil. So what it is that you're saying, and tell me if I'm reading you wrong, is that, yes, it's great to have Terry here, but having the agent there and not being as involved, it may not be as great of a look as some may see.
I think it's a terrible look.
Wow.
And I'm just saying it because, again, your agent, we don't see other players' agents out here. I've never seen this unfold like this. And the other part about this is that, Chad, this organization has done just about everything right over the past 2 years. And I'm not saying that because they give us good food now in media. I'm saying
Shout out to Chef Connor.
Yeah, Chef Connor all day. But I'm saying this because they have. You saw what they did with Santana Moss yesterday. Right. Brilliant. That brilliant thing to put him in the Ring of Honor. You saw them showing up at Art Monk's house, to retire his jersey. I mean, they're doing everything they can to bring the fan base back and not alienate anyone. So for perhaps your best player, your biggest name player, outside of Jaden Daniels, of course, but we know what Terry is to this organization. Well, the first day of camp, Adam Peters and Coach Quinn sat with us and said they know who Terry is.
Sure.
They know he's a great person. They know he's an even better person than football player. They get all of this. But when he said that comment yesterday to the fans about my beef isn't with you, that's just, to me, that's just not a good look for a guy that's beloved here, that all of us, including myself, know this football team needs on the roster if they're trying to supplant Philadelphia and get to the Super Bowl. He should know this already.
Yeah, and I do. I want to echo all of the sentiments that you said about the organization, and we are going to talk about Santana Moss and what it is that they did coming up here in just a moment. I do want to make clear, though, with Terry, what he has done is each of the last 2 days he has come out and for some 30, 45, even an hour after practice ended, he has signed every child's autograph that has come up and approached him after practice, after everyone else has gone in. To me, that speaks to the character that he has. That speaks to why it is that he is such, not only the former face of this franchise, but so beloved within this community. That part is Terry being Terry. The other part that you're speaking to, that's the business side of things.
That's the business side. So I still think you can do both. You can still be out here signing the autographs, but you can still be out here with your teammates too.
Sure.
And I think that would endear him even more, because we do know that this is one of the most likable guys you'll ever meet. No one's taking any of that from Terry. But again, you are the face.
Right.
And I still have said this, although Jaden's the bigger name because he plays the quarterback position, the face of this franchise is Terry McLaurin still. So you just want to see this get rectified and get fixed. But it just reeks of ill will. And I'm not saying it's just all on Terry's side, But while Adam Peters is over signing autographs today, Terry's over on the other side. I don't like the optics of any of that.
And I want to be clear. I want to hold you down so that the people at home know exactly what it is that you're saying. Are you saying that you would like to see, in your own opinion, you'd like to see Terry on the sideline with the players, or are you saying that you would like to see Terry out there practicing right now?
No. I mean, of course, we'd love to see him practice, but we know he can't do that at this moment.
Yes.
So I'd like to see him at least over there with his teammates. That's all. You know, just not making a scene or anything like that, but just over there with his guys. Now, don't get me wrong. We don't walk back in the locker room with them. So he could be in there with them right now for all we know. But I just think from an optics standpoint, the optics of your agent standing with you off to the side on an auxiliary field for 20 minutes, what could they possibly be talking about? That's my issue right there. It's not with Terry. This is business side. I'm always going to side with the players. But this is the first time in my career, Chad, that I'm also understanding the organization side as well. So they just got to get this fixed, and it will get done.
And that's a shout-out truly to Adam Peters, because for as much great work as they have done in putting this team together, the upper brass does a great job being affable, being likable to the media, to the fans as well. And you can say as much as you want to at home that doesn't matter. It does.
Oh, trust me, it does.
Matter. It matters a lot. All right. Speaking of which, Santana Moss. On yesterday, a surprise. Santana Moss used to work with us over at Fox 5. I consider him not only a legend, but also a friend, a great man. I know how much this team, this organization means to him. We've had conversations about that at the Fox 5 desk. He being entered into that ring of fame, palpable tears from Santana. He's not an emotional man. Tears from Santana Moss. What does that mean to this fan base?
It's huge. And again, it goes back to what we're saying. The organization is trying to right a lot of wrongs. And for Santana to not be recognized the way he should have been when he was playing for some dog days type of teams. This is big. And it's something that you have to sit back and think that they're thinking of these things in the building, which is awesome because they're showing love to the right people, and it shows the fan base that they care about their former players. And when you see a Darryl Green, you know what they did for him, the fact that they took down the Deshaun Taylor display because it wasn't anything great. They took that down, and they're going to fix that and make it right. Those are the type of things that show you that they do care about the fans and they care about the history of the organization. And it makes a big difference for everyone around here.
I absolutely love it. And we have, of course, talked about a Josh Connerly Jr. We have also spoken about a Laramie Tunsil. That offensive line is going to be a very big deal here. That said, I had an opportunity today to speak to second-year offensive guard now, Brandon Coleman. We want to go ahead and take a listen to Coleman. All right, Brandon, here we are, first day in padded practice here. I know that I used to play football, not like you, not like anybody out here, but I know this is a big day for every football player. What was today like?
It was good. You know, it's not really like being anxious, but just excited. You know, all camp and then OTAs, you kind of work with no pads. It's all hands and feet. And now you can apply that with just coming off the ball, that contact, which, like, especially for O-lineman, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, we're back. That's a word there from Brandon Coleman. We apologize for the technology. That's what happens when you are live on location. But Brandon Coleman, just speaking with him, Lake, he talked about that move down to that guard position. Again, we spoke about the fact that this is all fine and dandy when you're doing it in shorts and a T-shirt, right? But when you put those pads on, brother, it's a different deal out there.
It is. And, you know, I spoke with Brandon the other day, and you know, he's excited about it. And I think, you know, again, it goes back to the coaching and the coaching staff. You know, they made it a point to let everyone know when they first got here as coaches, we're not going to put you in a position to fail. We want you to be your best version of yourself at all times on that field. And they felt like Brandon would be at his best as a guard. And I think that Brandon's accepted that and he's embraced it and he's looking forward to it. More importantly, he feels comfortable because he obviously played that at Texas Christian as well.
Yes.
So he said, it's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
You know, you don't forget those things. You just have to get out there and do it again. I think this kid's going to have a monster year. I truly believe that.
I think that the key thing that you said right there is that it is all about that attitude and that personality there. That was what it was that he was doing out there, and the fact that he is cool with not only accepting but happy to move on to that next level.
Yeah, and think about it. That left tackle spot is tough. That's probably one of the hardest positions in sports to play. And the fact that they have a 5-time Pro Bowler in here, Brandon can learn something from him.
Yes.
And when you play against, or beside someone like that, it's going to hide some of your deficiencies if you have any,
Sure.
but it's also going to show your strengths.
That's right.
And I think for Brandon, he's being put in a position to excel, and you can just see he's happy.
Sure.
He doesn't seem like a person that looks like they've been demoted, because
Oh
he hasn't
my gosh,
been demoted.
I moved from tackle to guard. I'm upset about it.
He's not demoted.
No.
He's in a great spot, and you can see he's doing every interview. He's talking to whoever. But more importantly, I saw when he talked with you today, he was cheesing from ear to ear. This guy's ready to play football.
And that is the continuity, because I asked him about that as well, and we'll get you that interview from Brandon Coleman, the full there, but I spoke with him about the continuity, because there's arguably no position group in the NFL or any space in sports in which continuity is more important than with an offensive line. This team has the potential to have 3 new starters this year, at least players in different positions here. And so it is that coming together to be able to not only protect Jaden, but to be able to run the ball, which this team could not do very effectively the second half of the season last year.
Yeah, well, these guys that they have now are athletic.
Yeah.
Brandon
Woo,
being one.
come on now.
Brandon's a big man, but he's got great footwork. He's athletic. You look at Josh Connolly Jr., the rookie from Oregon, great footwork. You look at these guys, and I have a basketball background, and I can tell with some of these guys that they used to hoop because the way they move. One of the best to ever do it used to be here now in San Francisco,
Sure.
Trent Williams.
That's right.
You can tell he could hoop, and he could. So now you look at Laramie and all these guys, and let's not forget Big Sam Cosme looks good
Come on,
now
Sam.
too. I
Yes.
think Sam's going to be in the mix sooner than later,
Yes.
surprisingly. And that means if Sam can come back, this offensive line has the potential to be a top 5 offensive line this year.
Can you imagine that?
Just overnight.
Can you imagine that? Because, again, you and I, we spoke off camera, and Jaden was phenomenal. And don't want to give, because football, unlike any other sport, is such a team sport. So this team got the Washington Commanders and this franchise, this fan base, back to the NFC Championship game. It was not just 5, but 5 was able to cover up so many things along that offensive line. That if this offensive line plays well, Lake Lewis, if they play well, how good can this offense be?
Listen, this offense last year was a top 7 unit.
Sure.
And they didn't have a whole lot of playmakers.
Come on.
And
Come
the
on.
offensive line was kind of devoid at times. Now you have a Pro Bowl left tackle. You've got a stud right tackle, rookie. You're moving Brandon, who was a second-round draft pick last year, inside. Think about this. Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, because Terry's going to be back, folks. Don't worry.
He'll be here.
He'll be here.
Yes.
You have weapons for Jaden. The old man, Zach Ertz, looks like he's getting younger out there. He's still making more plays now. This offense has the potential to be a top 3 offense this year. I do think with the running game that they have, remember the name, obviously Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, the speedster, that they took in the 7th round. Also remember Demetric Felton. I think he's going to make the roster as a running back, and he's a 4.3, a low 4.3 guy. Wow. So those 2 guys adding to this offense. Jalen Lane, another speedster.
83.
It's a lot of weapons out here for Jaden, and I'm telling you, number 5 looks even better.
And, of course, we didn't even mention number 1 out there. We can go through this whole list and not even talk about Deebo Samuel. But that was a great segue that you made there as we continue to segue when Lake and I work together here. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, this is now time. Each and every day we are going to name a player on the rise. And for today, my player is Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. You look at that 7th round running back out here. The people in the community are crazy about this young man. And it seems like the people in this organization are crazy about him as well. Lake, I'll get your comments on him in just a second, but first, let's take a listen to my one-on-one with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. So, Ja'Cory, I got to tell you, bro, I've been speaking with the people, and you are one of the players that they are the most excited about. I know that they saw you, they see everything that you bring. What does it feel like to you to know that the DMV believes in you so strong already?
I mean, first off, I gotta prove it to them. They want to see it. They want to see it on the field, and I mean, I'm just happy that I've been counted out for so long, and people are finally realizing like that I have true talent, and it's just a blessing. I'm just gonna keep working at it.
From that perspective, the fact that, you know what I'm saying, you have traveled a different path to get to this point, how has everything that you've gone through, how did that help prepare you for this moment?
It was a lot of adversity, man. I just kept God first, just stayed strong, and I knew what my goal to be, and that's to, just be out here with my teammates and a lot of professionals. I mean, I'm truly blessed.
You'll get this question a lot, but how does the NFL game translate thus far? What's it like being out here on this field?
I mean, guys are good. They're really fast, and I just love to come out and compete with them. It just makes me better. It makes them better, and it's a truly blessing to be out here.
Ja'Cory, for you, what changes? First day pads. What changed today? How is practice different?
I mean, I feel like it's the same as a non-practice practice. I feel like I run the same with or without pads. So I mean, it was good to have pads and feel a little bit of collision.
My man Ja'Cory said, I feel like I run as fast with or without pads. Ja'Cory said that he don't care. You talked about it, these added playmakers on this team. I think that he has the potential to be one of them.
Absolutely, and I think that they know that. And although he was a 7th-round draft pick, he had an eligibility issue in college, so he didn't play his last year at Arizona. If this kid had played, I think you probably would have been looking at like a 4th rounder.
Sure.
So his talent level is superior from a 7th rounder, and I think the speed that he gives, that cutback ability that he gives to that running back room, I think he's going to get meaningful reps this year, a lot of them. I don't think he's going to, supplant Brian Robinson or Austin Eckler. They don't need him to, not yet. But I do think that this might be their back of the future, and I think his present is currently right now.
I got to ask you, though, right? Because when we start looking at this, and we got a couple of minutes left in show, but Brian Robinson Jr., Austin Eckler, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, you're probably looking at keeping it 5 backs at the most, probably. Chris Rodriguez, Jeremy McNichols, the young man that you named, everybody, we want them all to stay. Yeah. But they all can't stay.
They can't stay. What you're probably going to see is 4 backs that are kept, and then they'll put the other guys on the practice squad.
Yeah.
So they'll still be here, but I really believe that Ja'Cory will be your 3rd back. And I like Chris. I like Jeremy McNichol as well. But there's something about Demetric Felton that gives them an extra boost, and he can catch the ball out the backfield too.
Got you. Ja'Cory was my player on the rise. Whom have you seen that maybe the people watching right now, they may not be aware of? Who's caught your eye?
There's another Ja'Cory Brooks. Ja'Cory Brooks, undrafted free agent. This kid, he's made plays. Jaden's looking for him.
That's right.
We're talking about a star quarterback looking for a undrafted rookie.
Trust.
To the tune of this guy has 3 touchdowns already in camp. He's had some drops, but he's made big plays. And I think that wide receiver room is open at the bottom end of it. So maybe Ja'Cory Brooks makes it as the 6th receiver. I think he's trending upwards to do that.
No, I absolutely love it. Last question for you. We are 5 days in, day 6 coming tomorrow. What, if anything, are you looking to see?
Man, just continued development. They have the pads. They're getting after it.
They are.
The one thing I do like, Chad, and I'll say this quickly, is that you don't see the defense dominating the offense or vice versa.
Correct.
Even if it happens in series.
That's right.
And that's the sign of good balanced football on both sides. So I just want to see that develop and continue. And also, I want to see how the offensive line does start to come together and how they gel.
Love it. Continuity, physicality, the burgundy and gold is back and competing. Lake Lewis, thank you so very much, brother. And we also want to thank you for watching from home. This is the Fox 5 on Fox Local Washington Commanders Training Camp Special. We'll join you again tomorrow from 12 to 12:30 right here on Fox Local. Guy Lambert, Live Zone, is next.
Live Zone. Thank you so much for joining us on this Back to Work Monday. Coming up on the show today, the latest on the Epstein files. President Trump speaking out yet again. Hey, you've seen him on your TV.